Welcome to section 2.8. This is the 19th session of the ISACA CISA exam prep series. In this session, we'll cover how enterprises manage their technology resources. We'll work through several questions. How do you judge the value of a technology investment? How does portfolio management steer that spending? How do you manage the people behind technology? How does change get managed across the enterprise? How are technology costs handled? And what does security management cover? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because every dollar and every hour spent on technology has a trade-off. Picture a retailer choosing between a new warehouse system and a loyalty app. Funding one means delaying the other. That is opportunity cost, and it is real. Strong resource management gets the most value from limited means, and assessing that is right in your lane. So how do you judge the value of a technology investment? You weigh what you pay against what you get back. The more the benefit outweighs the cost, the more value you get. But benefit is not just money anymore. The old view counted only financial returns, like cost cuts. Today, leaders also count non-financial gains. Better customer satisfaction, faster cycles, and richer information. Where you can, translate those gains into monetary terms. That makes their impact concrete and easier to compare. How does portfolio management steer that spending? It asks whether you are funding the best projects overall. Unlike simple cost tracking, it is directive and strategic. It decides where to invest more and where to divest. To set it up, first, standardize your terminology. Then, secure management commitment and define inclusion criteria. Spell out the roles, the tools, and the decisions involved. The methods include assessing risk and diversifying projects. They include constant realignment with business objectives. Every project needs a documented business case, even mandatory ones. And you never delete a program from the portfolio. You change its status and compare results to the original plan. How do you manage the people behind technology? This is human resource management, and it starts at hiring. Good hiring uses controls like background checks, it uses confidentiality agreements and conflict of interest disclosures. A handbook then sets out conduct, ethics, and expectations. Remember, the handbook is just information, not a control. Training keeps skills current, which matters most in technology. Cross-training spreads knowledge so you do not depend on one person. Time reporting helps manage the scarcest resource of all. What else does managing people involve? Employees sign terms and conditions that cover security duties. Performance management sets clear, measurable goals and reviews them. When conduct slips, a structured improvement plan steps in. Promotions stay fair and based on objective criteria. Now here is a powerful fraud control. Required vacations force someone else to do the job once a year. Job rotation does the same thing on a rolling basis. Both make hidden schemes much harder to sustain. Succession plans make sure critical roles are always covered, and termination follows clear steps to protect your assets. Recover devices and revoke every login, not just the network one. How does change get managed across the enterprise? Enterprise change management uses a defined, documented process. It applies improvements and involves everyone the change touches. Technology usually leads or facilitates these changes. First, it secures senior management commitment. Then it works with each function to win their support. Communication tells users how the change affects their jobs, and feedback runs through the whole project, not just the end. Picture rolling out a new expense system company-wide. Skip the communication and people quietly resist it. How are technology costs actually handled? This is financial management, and the costs are significant. One technique is cost allocation through chargebacks. Each department pays for the technology services it consumes. That improves how people monitor and use those resources. Like every department, technology must build a budget. Link the budget to near-term projects as well as longer-range goals. There is also a key accounting question. Is a software cost an operating expense or a capital one? Software bought and installed on site is usually capital. Cloud software bought as a subscription is usually operating. Misclassifying these can misstate the financials. You help by confirming costs are tracked against an approved budget. So what does information security management cover? It leads the work of protecting your information assets. Its goal is keeping data confidential, accurate, and available. That spans a wide set of responsibilities. Running risk assessments and developing security policy. Responding to incidents and raising security awareness. Designing secure architecture and managing vulnerabilities. Planning for continuity and disaster recovery. Two metrics matter there. Recovery time objective is how fast you must be back up. Recovery point objective is how much data loss you can tolerate. It also runs identity and access management and proves compliance. So let's bring it together. Value comes from weighing cost against benefit, financial and not. Portfolio management strategically steers where you invest and divest. Managing people spans hiring, training, fraud controls, and termination. Change management brings everyone along, so improvements stick. Financial practices handle chargebacks, budgets, and cost classification. And security management protects the assets through its whole remit. Hold this, and you can see how a technology shop spends its resources well. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on RooCloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.